Welcome, everyone. I'm Jeffrey Goodman, Director of Marketing and Development for the YMCA of Nortwest Louisiana. We're here at 318 Latino Studios for Shreveport-Bossier, my city, my community, my home. And we have a super special guest today. It's Caddo Parish Administrator and CEO, Erica Bryant. So, Erica, thanks for being here. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you. Well, we'll hop into the questions, and if I get anything wrong at all, please correct me.
Sure.
I'm trying to be as accurate as I possibly can.
Sure.
All right. So on April 20th of this year, you were appointed Caddo Parish Administrator and CEO after working with the parish since 1997.
Yes, that's correct.
So let's start today just explaining some structural things. There are 12 Caddo Parish Commissioners who serve 4-year terms and represent constituency that encompasses approximately 900 square miles.
That's correct.
Talk, if you could, about the role of the Caddo Parish Administrator and some of how you work with the commissioners and provide management oversight of all Caddo Parish functions.
Yes. Caddo Parish, I think, is one of maybe 2 parishes in Louisiana that has the commission form of government where you have an appointed administrator and then the elected board. So I am appointed as to, in some other parishes, the position that is equivalent to mine would be an elected position. I'm appointed by the commission in order to see the overall day-to-day operation. The commission's role is to adopt the budget, anything legislative, set the laws, but the day-to-day control and of the budget is in the hands of the administrator. So I oversee public works, parks, and I hire any employees that come into our arena other than the administrator and the commission clerk. Those report directly to the commission. But the rest of the employees report directly to myself, and I'm responsible for hiring them. All directors have to be confirmed by the commission, but I would make that selection and make a recommendation to the commission. Any disciplinary salaries, all of those things are set by administration. With communication to the commission. I have to regularly communicate with the commission on what's going on, what the departments are making decisions, what's being implemented. At the commission meeting, I give what's called an administrator's report. And in that report, I keep them updated about any issues going on in the parish. But we're also meeting regularly. I meet and talk with them on a regular basis, also to hear what their goals and objectives are for the parish. I have what I'd like to see, and then they also have ideas about what direction they'd like to see the parish going in. So I try to meet with them regularly to hear them out so that we can align what our objectives are.
Perfect. Mm-hmm. Which actually brings me perfectly to my next question, which is, can you talk about some of your current priorities and initiatives?
Of course. I mean, right now, we've had an issue in our parish with crime. The Caddo Parish Commission and myself, we oversee the juvenile justice system. And part of the issues that we're having in our community directly relates to juveniles, as well as just the justice system as a whole. The parish is responsible for funding portion of the operations of the sheriff's office, the district attorney, the district court. So we're heavily involved in providing funding for those operations. But what we're experiencing in our parish, in order to address some of those issues, we need more resources. So that is a priority of my administration, is to try to get more resources to service those areas, to help our community feel safe. They want us to address public safety needs. And so in that vein, the commission has called for an election in October 14th. They have placed a 3.5 mil tax on the ballot in order to address criminal justice, and that's all level of criminal justice that could be addressed. They feel that it's important. They've heard from the citizens, and so they want to be able to address that. They want our community to feel safe, and so the 3.5 mills will bring in about $5.3 million. It only costs a citizen about $370 a month on a $200,000 house. So it's not a significant increase, but could have a big impact in our community. So that's a goal of mine, is to try to help with the crime in our community. Obviously, economic development. A direct correlation between reducing crime is also increasing development in your community. Obviously, with jobs and opportunities, there's less need to have to commit crime. So that's a big initiative. We also want to improve quality of life in our community. We have the Walter B. Jacobs Nature Center, where our citizens graciously approved for the parish to issue $20 million in bonds to renovate and rehabilitate that facility. We're having a groundbreaking August 30th to start building that facility, and it should be completed in early 2025. We think it's going to be a great advantage in our community, something citizens can use. We'll have an event center there, and so we're excited about that project. We're trying to put more resources towards our parks. Many may not know, but we have less than a meal tax for our parks. And we're doing a lot with that, but we need a lot more resources to help with that. And so quality of life is a big goal that I have.
And how many parks do you know?
We have 14 parks.
Okay.
We have 14 parks, but our flagship parks are Earl Williamson, Walter B. Jacobs, and Eddie Jones. And then PBS Pinchback is also in West Caddo, is also a park that's heavily used.
I will say, I didn't want to interrupt, but I will say on the public safety aspect, I have to give a plug that you also have a new Assistant Parish Administrator who happens to be Clay Walker, who was formerly Director of Juvenile Services.
Yes.
So clearly this is a focus and a priority.
Yes, that's, in deciding who could assist me in helping to make Caddo Parish a success, I thought that Clay Walker would be just a great fit for that role, given his background. So it has so far been working out well. He's provided us great insight in this area. So yes.
All right, and you've served in different roles and capacities with the parish. You began as the Assistant Director of Finance, then worked as the Director of Finance and Human Resources for 16 years, and then spent the last 4 years as the Assistant Parish Administrator. You are the first African-American woman to be appointed Caddo Parish Administrator and CEO. You once said, I pulled a quote from you, you once said, "I appreciate the role women leaders have played in my career development, and I want to encourage and inspire future women leaders." So my question is, would you mind talking a little bit about some of the female leaders who have mentored or inspired you through your career?
Well, I would have to say the first leader that has inspired me is, it may sound cliche, but it was my mother. My mother served as an accounting supervisor for Louisiana School Employees Retirement System. She inspired me to go into the field of accounting because that was the field that she was in. And so that was one of the very first persons in my life that I saw that a woman achieving things. And in spite of, my mom always said to me, in spite of the liabilities you may face in your life, never let that be your crutch. You always still want to work hard. Yes, as a female. Yes, as an African American. There will be things that you face that others don't have, but don't let that stop you. Keep going in spite of that. And so she has been very inspirational in my life. But also throughout my career, there have just been women who've guided me and mentored me. When I worked at KPMG, I was put into a mentor system with another female in that organization, and she worked closely with me. And I feel like coming into that world, it was alien to me, and she helped guide me and just talked about those pitfalls that sometimes that are unique to women. Sometimes, how you manage that world. Like you can be yourself. You don't have to smoke cigars just to get you can fit in that world as long as you're qualified and have something to bring to the table. So That was a real inspiration to me. But it's just been so many women. My mom has 3 sisters. Just in our organization alone, we have, Donna Frazier is our parish attorney, and her and I have worked closely together, and just watching her. Our communications director, Crystal Beecham, she's in our organization. Haley Barnett, director of finance. So just having that collaboration of women in the organization, our new HR person, Cheryl McGee, we have promoted women, we encourage, and I just have enjoyed working for the parish and recognizing and seeing how they support their employees and support leaders within the organization.
And a number of female commissioners.
Oh, yes, of course. The one being,
or is there only one?
No. There's one now, but throughout my career, I've worked with multiple ones. Commissioner Baker, Commissioner Joyce Bowman. They were there throughout my career. Also, now we have Commissioner Stormy Gage Watts, and they provided nothing but support, guidance. Have appreciated that, just getting their feedback on being, often we're the only woman in the room sometimes, and how do you navigate that world? How do you not feel intimidated? Because recognizing that you belong, regardless of the fact that you're a female. Mm-hmm.
My next question is, what are some ways the commission has changed in the 26 years since you first began working with the parish?
I don't, if there are those who were familiar with the commission in the 90s, there was a lot of upheaval, a lot of controversies. But I think that over time, we've weathered that storm. I think over time, they've put the right people in the right places. And we've come a long way. In the 90s, the commission was not in the best financial condition. We were taking out loans, revenue loans, just to pay the bills. Today, we don't have that issue. Today, we're in great financial condition. Now, it's not without the struggles.
I don't want to think we have than you did in the 92, right?
Yes, we achieved a AAA rating, which is a big advantage. But most of our monies are dedicated to specific services. And so that causes, because some may say, well, you're in great financial condition, why do you need more? Well, those monies the citizens have said, I don't want you to use the money that's for our roads, for criminal justice. I don't want you to use the money for parks or, our facilities. Those monies can't be used for those. And so we've had great success in many areas, but in some areas we need additional resources. But that's a major change in Caddo Parish is just where we've grown from a financial perspective, and being able to just service our buildings, service our roads and streets and drainage and parks. We've been providing upgrades there, and so I think just being able to provide more back to our citizens has been the greatest change that we've had.
And I don't want to say anything too obvious, but for people that don't know this, commission meetings, I think, are twice a month, and they are open to the public. Yes. And I've been to a number of them, and I encourage, if anyone just wants to have a better sense of how our parish is run, how it operates, go to a commission meeting.
Yes.
And it's impressive to see how you all run your meetings, how you all collaborate with each other. And I can say, just as a unbiased, objective observer, that it's very impressive. And I don't know what it was like in the 90s because I didn't attend any meetings, but it's very well run today. Yes,
it is very well run. We do encourage all our citizens, if they can attend. They start at 3:30.
And when are they? What day of the week?
They're on Mondays and Thursdays every other week.
Okay.
They're also, you can watch it on Facebook, you can watch it on YouTube.
Live?
Yes, live during the meeting. But we encourage them that, it's always, sometimes you get a different perspective when you're actually in the meeting and you're seeing, the dialogue and just their interaction. Sometimes you can't get that on just watching it on Facebook or so. But I understand people have conflicts. they have, jobs, and so they may can't get to the meeting, but you can watch it live and you can watch it afterwards. So if you go to our website, you can also watch those meetings again after the fact. So
and you can pull down agendas ahead of
yes,
time,
you can
so
pull
you can
down
know exactly what's going to be discussed.
Yes, you can pull down agendas ahead of time. You can contact the Commission Clerk's office if you have questions or concerns or anything. Any citizen can reach out to us, and we are more than willing to answer any questions. Citizens have done that. Like, oh, I watched your meeting on so-and-so, and there was a issue raised, and they'll usually email us. There's an issue raised. Can you provide us a little more? Can you provide me a little more information about that? And we are more than happy to do that.
Perfect. And my last question for you, and we can talk about other things as well, is as you look around at our community, what gives you hope? My question is, what gives you hope that we are making progress and headed in the right direction?
I just think our community. I just think that we have a group of citizens who are committed to seeing Caddo Parish thrive, and that incites me when I hear that and I see that. And I think that, just with hard work and diligence, we will be a successful community. I know that there are those that, want to see more in our community, want to see a difference, want to feel safe, want to have avenues to improve their quality of life. And I just think that working in collaboration with our citizens, with other agencies, that we can achieve that.
Is there anything else that I didn't ask you that, I know you're a major addition to, you've been part of the parish, but you're great to have in this role, and I'm excited about the future of the parish and the commission with you as the CEO. Is there anything else that I didn't ask specifically that that's very important to you that you'd like to share or mention today?
Well, I don't have any. I just would like to thank the Caddo Parish citizens for continuously supporting us. They've supported us in our various initiatives. And so I want to recognize them, because without the Caddo Parish citizens, we couldn't do what we do. I'd also like to recognize Caddo Parish employees who work hard on behalf of the Caddo Parish citizens. And so just want to thank them also, and recognize the Caddo Parish Commission for continuously supporting administration in our objectives and our goals, and working right there alongside us. And so that's just what I'd like to add.
And I'd like to add, we have an election for commissioners this year too in October. I encourage everyone out there to vote, to be aware of who the candidates are, and to play an active role in pushing this community where we all want it to go. Yes,
it's always a good idea to vote. Yes, we have several commissioners on the ballot. Obviously, there are other things. You have the governor's race on the ballot. So it is always important for citizens to exercise their right when they're when citizens have concerns about things that are going on in their community. A lot of times, I know there are some that may not believe this, but a lot of times it's a leadership. And so being involved in that and being involved in selecting your leadership is very important.
Absolutely. Well, Erica, thanks for being here when I know you don't have a lot of time, and thanks for all you're doing for the parish. It makes me excited to know that you're there, and I'm very optimistic about the future with you as the CEO. So,
well, thank you for inviting me. I appreciate you all providing this avenue for our citizens to gain more information about what's going on in their community. So thank you.
Absolutely.